Man, I don't know if I've ever seen this. Obviously, it would be something that could have happened, but you don't really remember. On Saturday, the Guardians had 3 players get injured, and now with DeLauder going on the IL yesterday, all 3 are on the injured list. Jose Ramirez, Angel Martinez, and Chase DeLauder all got hurt in the same game, and now all are out for at least another week, if not longer. Obviously, in Jose's case, it's longer. We don't know how long it's going to be with Martinez or DeLauder, but at this point, you're talking about at least another week for all 3 of them, and probably longer for all 3 of them. The Guardians, at their best this year, especially with DeLauder and Bazana, the way Rocchio's played this year, the way Martinez has played this year, when they were at their best, they were, mid-tier lineup. Lately, last few weeks, they've been well below that.
Yeah.
And with these injuries, their lineup is not very good. They called up Khalil Watson, who's one of their better prospects, but we'll see. He wasn't in the lineup yesterday. Zach, are you in full panic mode with what's going on?
I'm not in full panic mode, but they're going through it, right?
Yeah.
And you take one of those guys out of the lineup takes a hit.
Yeah.
You take all 3 of those guys out of the lineup takes a major hit, and now you're scrambling. You're looking for answers. And I think with DeLauder, you always worry because of the injury history. And with Jose, this is the engine, right? It's not every game, but this is the guy to get you there.
Yeah.
So can you survive almost 2 months without Jose? Sure. Does it make every level of your decision-making and your operation complicated? Yes. So speaking of Times Square in October, we thought that was a given for the Tribe, for the Guardians.
Right? Yeah.
And now it's June just got a lot more complicated, and maybe July too.
Man.
Yeah, you panicking.
Oh, yeah. I told you, I was full panic mode last week. When Jose went out, I'm like, oh, no, I can't just imagine they're about to get it done. And then when the way DeLauder hit that wall, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you already know what his injury history is. Second of all, when you swing in the bat and anything in your torso, every time you swing, that's a torso move. And the way he was wincing, I said, oh, okay. I thought Martinez was going to be able to come back because I'm like, okay, maybe it's a foot contusion or something. And I'm thinking, cool, he'll be back. And then he's on the IR. So for me, I looked at those 3 people in the lineup, and those have, during the early part of the season, have been their most consistent hitters, including the people who are offering most of the power. Most of the power are coming from those 3 dudes. So when you watch the game and you watch yesterday against the Brewers, first of all, the pitcher the Brewers had on the mound, what is his name? Can we get it? What is his name?
I can't remember who pitched yesterday.
He looked like
Sork.
Oh, Brandon Sproat. Yeah,
he was dealing in the first part. And if you think about it, the Guardians got their runs off one swing in the bat with Schneemann.
Yeah, they didn't get a base runner before that.
Yeah, so that gave them the runs. And you look at Rhys Hoskins up at the plate. He had some bad at-bats. You take a look at Manzardo. He had a hit, but he had some crazy-looking at-bats. Right now, I just don't know where the run support comes from, especially when you got those 3 guys out. And now you're playing with a lot of young guys. I guess the only thing that I can say that I was really excited about is I finally got to see you and Jason's unicorn, Espino, come in.
Yeah.
And he was coming in throwing gas.
He was nasty.
100 off. Listen, he struck 2 dudes out.
Yeah.
I like that. That is very encouraging for me.
Yeah. I don't know why they hadn't used him at all. Because this was the first time he pitched. So.
And he was awesome. Before we get into the Gavin Williams stuff, on Espino, he had 5 swing and misses yesterday. His fastball velocity averaged 99.8 miles per hour. He threw a curveball at 76 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Nearly a 24 difference in his fastball to his curveball. His slider was topping out at 92. And in all the advanced pitching ninja metrics that you could look up, out of this world, 99th percentile in terms of movement.
I mean, the guy
at
one point was the best pitching prospect in their system and one of the best pitching prospects in the sport. He's just had so many injuries. Before this year, he had barely played for 4 seasons.
He got movement on his fastball.
He's nasty.
I'm like, dang, that looked different coming off his hand.
Yeah, I think he's going to eventually be in a high leverage role because he's nasty and Hunter Gaddis is not pitching well. Couple of things. I'm not panicking. Bring up the standings again, Mike. Here's why I'm not panicking. Mm-hmm. The division is hideous. Right. It's hideous. They're tied with the White Sox. Okay, the Twins have played a little better lately to get within 5 games of 500. The Twins are not a good team. Detroit, as bad as the Guardians have played for the last 3 weeks, Detroit's still 9 out. They're 14 games under 500. They got Skubal back, but he can't do it all himself.
He only pitches 1 every 5 games.
Yeah, and now they got Mize back, but they lost Flaherty. So their lineup's a mess. Their bullpen stinks. They're not going to make a run. I just don't see it. So I think the White Sox are a nice scrappy bunch, but their pitching's terrible. They have no pitching, especially in the rotation. And their one pitcher who had been doing really well, Davis Martin, I just said 2 days ago, he can't keep it up. He's a journeyman. And then the Yankees scored 9 runs off him 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So the White Sox are, I mean, listen, it's baseball. You never know. Weird things happen. And the Guardians obviously are behind the 8 ball offensively. And they needed Gavin Williams to be a stopper yesterday.
Nope.
And he stunk.
Nope.
Especially
First inning.
after Schneemann, well, the first inning, yes.
Yeah.
But then Schneemann hits the grand slam
Puts him-
to get him right back in the game at 5-4. And then he
then-
gives it right up.
Then he
And
multiple
you know
hits.
once it's 7-4, you're like, they're not scoring another 4 runs.
done.
You're starting a long road trip.
Yeah.
Your lineup is in all sorts of trouble.
Yes.
You need your ace to give you something. Even if he
Yes.
doesn't have his best stuff, you need a
Right.
performance that day.
And he let him down.
Yeah.
And, he didn't pitch great against the Yankees either, so he's got to get his act together. Listen, for the most part, for the last 2 since the All-Star break of last year, he's mostly been sensational. But he's in a little slump right now, and he's got to pitch better.
If you are the White Sox,
Yeah.
I try to look at it from their perspective because, the Guardians can look at other teams and say, these guys ain't going to do nothing. They're overachieving right now. Look at the Tigers; they're 9 games back. But let me tell you something. If I'm Minnesota or Chicago, I'm talking to myself the same way that the Guardians are talking. If I'm Chicago, I'm like, they got their best 3 hitters that's on the injured list. Their top 2 pitchers.
It's not their best 3 hitters, but amongst their 3
best.
But 3 of them. I mean,
Bazana is better than Martinez.
Yes, but so 3 out of the 5, 3 out of 4.
3 out of,
And then you would say, okay, they top 2 pitchers that we have in Tanner Bybee and Gavin Williams. Tanner Bybee's been terrible. Gavin
last start.
he got 1 start. He got 1, but for the most part, he's been a disappointment. And also, Gavin Williams has been up and down a little bit as well.
Lately, yeah.
So now, you just talked about Hunter Gaddis. Has not been putting it together. You got Cade Smith, but that's about it. So if you look at it, you say their best hitters are out. Their pitching is up and down. And on top of that, they got guys in the bullpen that's really not really showing up like that. Yeah. I'm looking at the Guardians like, they ripe for the picking right now.
You could say, I get what you're saying. But the Guardians have, in the end, they have some pitchers. They do have some pitchers overall pitching well, and certainly pitching a lot better than the White Sox. Cade Smith is way better than anything the White Sox. Now, Dominguez has been pretty solid for the White Sox, but he's nowhere close to Cade Smith.
I think you could say this, they're certainly wobbly, right?
Yeah.
And you can stop short of panic.
Yeah.
But Martinez alone has been so good that losing him would be like, this is a blow to this lineup.
Yeah, sure.
And then he lost Ramirez and Delauder too, so
it's definitely
worrisome.
It's definitely a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal that these guys are hurt. They're going to struggle to score runs. What's funny is they've only scored more than 3 runs 3 times in their last 12 games, and they've lost 2 of the 3 games that they actually did score 4 runs, including last night. They lost a game to the Yankees, I think 7-5 also. So, yeah, and you're not playing – now, the frustrating thing is you're facing – you missed the Brewers' 2 best starters, including Mizorowski, who's the best pitcher in baseball right now. After the Brewers, they play the Astros. You're missing Hunter Brown, who's their best pitcher. After that, you play the White Sox, who don't have any good pitchers. Now, you'll face good pitchers with the Mariners because all their pitchers are good. But you're not facing great pitchers, but you're facing a Brewers team that's really good. An Astros team that's playing better. They were bad for most of the year, but the last couple of weeks they're playing better. The White Sox, we know what they are. They're okay, like the Guardians. The Mariners are playing a little better. They're inconsistent. So you don't have any really bad teams coming up. You play and you play in some division rivals. So it's not even like you're going to play the Rockies or the Red Sox, who've been pretty bad, although the Guardians lost 2 out of 3 to them. It's a tough stretch. They're going to have a lot to overcome. I'm just saying I wouldn't panic because in the end, I think when the stretch is over, at the very least, they'll be in the mix for the division, if not tied or better, even with the struggles. But they've got to be able to overcome. I know the Yankees have a bigger payroll, but the Yankees lineup is not that great, and they are missing their two best hitters in Judge and Stanton, and they're winning right now. They're playing well. I know Ben Rice has been great for them, but
it's worrisome. Is it panic? That's debatable, and let's see. Guys are going to have to step up and hit the baseball, and they're going to need better from their first two pitchers.
Shout out to Schneemann.